Let's get started. Everybody got a little breakfast? I'm going to do my early bird drawing. You know where it says sell your cell phone? I don't know where mine is, so inevitably I'll lose every day for 2 weeks. So we got lots of sponsors here today, and it's going to be good. So you guys ready for me to draw? You know, Amber Dickey 210, they give us money, so let's have somebody win it. Who's going to draw it? Jay Regal, you got a free hand?
I do.
I'm going to let you draw. Draw somebody.
Me, Judy. Mine's draw me.
Somebody that's here.
Isaac Rios.
Oh, man. I just sent him a note yesterday. All right, well, let's go up next week. Alright, guys, I got with Earl yesterday for prayer requests. And Weaver, you think you feel up to praying this morning? I want to just make sure that I mention a few people, and then I want to hear, obviously, yours as well. Jim Clark has been battling cancer and treatment and going through that, so he's definitely in our prayers. Please keep praying for him. Marcia Anderson's husband, I think, is doing okay. Did you say we had an update?
Yeah, he had a kidney transfer. His brother gave him a kidney transplant. He was having some weird complications with, fluid would build up and then it would like puncture out. Anyway, but I talked to Marcia last week. He's doing good. He's up and walking. He's out and going for walks now. So that's an improvement over what he was capable of, what he couldn't do before. So just keep praying.
So, Terry Poole's uncle, I talked to Terry yesterday, and he's doing well. He's also another person that's doing a transplant, so he's continuing, and he's there staying with Terry. She's been caring for him. Robert McGowan's wife is young and just has been having some heart complications and is getting a test today. I know we sent that out yesterday evening that they think she may have to have a pacemaker. So we're praying for, is this name? Evelyn McGowan. Judy Schrock. Doing well. I saw her this weekend. She had kind of a big patch on her arm, and she said the swelling's gone down. So let's keep praying for her and a speedy recovery, because I know that she's been in a lot of pain. Trisha in Huntsville, her mother has a mass. I'm going to give you this list, Weaver. And she had a biopsy, and then they're going to have to do another biopsy, like they didn't really get the results they wanted. So we're praying for her and for a good outcome for that. And then Shelley Parker is one of our newer agents, and her mother-in-law passed away. Right? She's on life support. Okay, so she's not passed away, so let's pray for her.
No, she did pass away.
Did she?
Yes.
That's right, okay, so let's pray for her family. And then anyone else have Cola?
I'd like to ask y'all to pray for my brother. 2 months ago, you all prayed for him. He had half a lung removed. He went in this week, biopsied his other lung, and found 2 spots that are malignant. He's going in Thursday to schedule the other one again. He lives in Homeland, Louisiana.
Okay.
If you could pray for like all the Keaton Bethel in Montgomery, he passed away this last week. He was 18, just graduated.
Unfortunately, that happened right in front of where I was.
Yeah, and it's really hard on all the Montgomery kids' families. It's just hard for them to have understanding, and his dad and stepmom are a client of mine, and I'm friends with his grandmother, and it's just,
That's hard.
Very not a half sober.
Yeah. Tragic car wreck, right?
Yeah, and had 5 surveys. It's pretty brutal. Couldn't even tell the cars. I couldn't even see. There was parts of cars everywhere.
Well, so we need to pray for the whole community for that.
it's really tough.
Okay, anyone else? It's a long list, right? Okay, Weaver.
Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning and we have many requests. We ask that you please watch over Jim Clark, help Jim with his cancer, Judy Chirac with her arm surgery and help her come back. We'd also like you to watch over Marsha Anderson and her situation. Terry Poole's uncle, Jill McGowan's wife, could possibly have a pacemaker, Teresa's mom. Shelley Parker's mother-in-law has lost their family. We know you need to be with them, help give them strength. Please watch over Polo's brother, help him with his lungs. Please bring healing arms to him. Please watch over the community of Montgomery. Sometimes we don't understand losing people so young and tragic. We don't understand all the things that you have knowledge of. We'd also like to ask you that you watch over each one of us. Let us show each and everybody in the community that you're with us at all times. We ask these things in Jesus Christ's name.
Amen from Ranger.
Okay, Texas Homeland. Let's hear your big announcement.
Good morning, Keller Williams. I'd like to introduce you to our new assistant. Her name is Tara Hammond. She's got a lot of banking and mortgage experience, and so I want you guys to get to know her. And so in doing, I would like for you guys to stop by our office and introduce yourselves and give her a card and tell her a little bit about yourself. And then next week she will announce the winner of some Starbucks coffee. Okay? So this is Tara Hammond, and anyway, have a great week.
Okay, 210 Home Warranty. We've got a couple of home warranties going on. So 210 Home Warranty, you guys know Amber.
Yes, hi everyone. How are y'all this
She's here,
morning?
so come on up.
First of all, I just want to thank y'all for your support in my business, and I have some door hangers. I know some people have reached out to me that want to do some door knocking, and I would love to support your business. But most importantly, I have a special guest with me today, Mark Cook. He's our RVP, so Regional Vice President. So he's here to support our business. If y'all need anything, please let me know. I'm here to support you any way I can. And just one added thing, if you don't know, it's on the front cover of my brochure that's in the back. It is the What If Guarantee. So even if we come out to do a service item on your customer's home, and the item is not covered for whatever reason, we do reimburse them the service fee. So just remember that whenever you're picking your home warranty person. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.
Okay. No, back to back. Sorry, this is our breakfast sponsor, so let's hear for that.
Good morning.
Who's our breakfast?
First of all, I want to say thank you guys for participating in the paintball competition and winning, by the way. I have Bruce that's still here, and I've got two people in mind, Jennifer Abear or Brian Richardson. I'm not sure who did it.
This one.
Bear.
No,
Who's the most aggressive
she's
one in the
the
room?
beast.
She is.
She's the beast right there.
Just now going away. It was like they were right next to me. But anyway,
Yeah.
you think you'd have pee for the old lady.
I did not even have a gun.
Don't let the
Oh, she didn't have a gun.
Don't let the hills fool y'all.
She was just throwing it.
That's because you emptied your other one.
She might be a little competitive, but anyway, we have something really, really fun coming up that I'll announce next time. But again, thank y'all for having us here. I like to go over a little bit with our brochures because that's what we're most proud of. As you know, everything you need to know is on the back. The promotion that we're still doing that people really like is you notice that we have 3 different plans. If you call me directly or the title company calls me directly, I can take $25 off of either of the plans or offer your client 13 months versus 12 months. We have no limit on air conditioning repair and no limit of number of units. The biggest thing that I think I like to sell is customer service and follow-up. And I'm sure, thank y'all for all your business here. And as you know, I do follow up with your clients. I don't know, sometimes they're yelling at me, and sometimes we get it worked. Most of the time we get it worked out. But I want to tell y'all I appreciate your business. And the hookup, everybody loves this as well. This is just if you call, your client calls, say a week in advance, then we have partnerships with these companies as well as 100 more. And all they have to do is call in about a week before they move in, and we will send someone out there to hook up their security system, internet and cable with the equipment free of charge. So take advantage of that as well. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate your business, but most of all, trust me to make your clients happy, because if they're not happy, you are not happy. So thank you so much.
So that was really fun whenever we did the paintball. I'm going to show you guys some pictures here in a minute. We really appreciate that. So congratulations to Kathy Howard on capping. Kudos on capping, right? Let's go to the paintball picture. So if you guys didn't hear that we pummeled the Woodlands, is that okay to use that word?
We destroyed them.
I got a note that they want a rematch, by the way.
They want a rematch, and we want a rematch as well. So that was a lot of fun, and I was going on vacation, so I was afraid to get bruised. So I came in and was there for moral support. But that was a good time. So definitely next time you guys tune in and see and join. And I wanted to do Agent of the Week this week early in this part of the slide, just because even though there's a couple of you, Jennifer Abear showed up in the paintball match.
Jesus,
She took that back over and over and over.
You say castle, and she's like, that's mine.
She ran on past me.
That's like taking a
Put some
listing.
feet to behold, is that
I
right,
was like,
John?
what is that?
And also, obviously, Jennifer's on the ALC and teaches classes and helps bring people into the office. So she's one of my favorite people. And are you on vacation? Because that's my favorite time to get Agent of the Week, it seems.
Not until next week.
Okay, good. All right, Agent of the Week. All right, so you know how we talk about the database, never-ending referrals. So the letters this week are IQ. Brilliant agents work their database. Why is it IQ, right? It helps you to just remember which letters you're working on. The point of never-ending referrals do the database too is just because it has a start and a finish, gives you no bias, helps you clean the database. So if you guys will just put your database in that group, and you can do your Facebook list that way as well. And then the content of the Never Ending Referrals on Mondays, I think if you're looking at how to spend your training time, that is the biggest bang for your buck on the calendar, or at least one of. So that is, consider doing that. What else on the calendar is going on? Who was here for the listing block party last month? Or I guess last week. So somebody tell me what that was like and how it went. So Barry, what was your take on it?
I thought it was detailed, thorough, and the order that they went through was exactly what I needed to hear and see, so I could better understand it.
What'd you think, Mark?
They shared some really good information and gave us, some of us people who haven't been on listing, I think they gave us a really good base to set up and kind of what is in the listing packages and so on and so forth, and gave us just a wealth of information, and gave us access to it afterwards as well, so we can go and look at it and make it our own as well, so that was good.
So do you guys know that almost any agent, I can't think of an agent in the entire office that would not share their listing presentation with you. And do you know where to find them on your KW.com materials? Did you guys see that I posted that there's a new one that just got released and it's very easy to customize? And then when you think about what to add to it or what to take with you on a listing presentation, I know that for lots of you, it's that going on those first few series of listing presentations, it's a little daunting, and having something to take with you helps you, right, with that ability to kind of manage the presentation and feel like you're going over the important information. So the Career Development Committee, really their vision is to bring you a little bit of a series of a longer class that you get a lot of takeaways during. I know Bruce Sellers came in and taught, and then Don Story. So you guys found that good, yes? Yes. Let's talk about the, I stuck a slide in here. Okay, so today, Jane, you want to tell about who the brides is, or Brian, or somebody tell me about this?
Yeah, don't ask Brian. Okay, so I think it's the fourth Tuesday.
Come up here, Jane.
Yeah.
That was funny, both.
Better you than me.
Jane shy.
Okay, so every fourth Tuesday, after the team meeting, 1 to 2, what we're trying to do is we're trying to learn E-Edge in and out so that we can teach it to everybody so that you can use it properly. And we're going really basic so that you set it up right. We learn campaigns, we learn database, we learn lead generation, marketing, all of that. So today we're having our second one from 1 to 2. We're going over compliance because that's obviously a really big one for your just setting the foundation, making sure you're ready to go before you actually start using it. And last week we did contacts, so we'll kind of review contacts today a little bit. So that's what we're going to do today, and then we're just going to go through campaigns and all the other tools that they have, going over what Pro is, if you want to use Pro. So definitely come because it's super useful information that you should be using every single day. Hop in on it, but you guys can always come to Mark, Christy, I, or Laura on Brian's team. She's always very helpful. She's our tech girl. But you can come to any of us anytime if you have a question about E-Edge. If you want to know how to bring your contacts in, if you want to know how to work your database, on the flyer is our email addresses, I think, right? If they're not,
You can certainly get them over here.
yeah. But just ask us anytime, and we'll be happy to kind of go over that, because you should be using it. It's really, really powerful to make sure you're following up with everybody.
Thank you, dear.
Thanks a lot.
Riveting performance.
Laura Fitzgerald is on the Brian Richardson Group team. She is master guru of marketing, and so she is helping with the admin side of that E-Edge stuff, how to figure out what the heck's going on, right? Because we're not always all good at that. Christy Care. What can we say about Christy's newer agent and just embracing? What I like about these 4 people is they're your peers. Jane's a top producing agent that came into the market center from Florida and still has a business in both. The newer agent perspective with a couple of them as well, and just decided to master the E-Edge database. And I don't know, does anyone else in the room feel that they have a master of that E-Edge database? You know, there's a lot to it, right? Judy probably is one of the only ones that I know of that really knows the ins and outs of it, and maybe Earl and me. But who do you have when you guys say, who could I go to? Get these 4 people's name and info, and they're offering to help you when you need it. Okay? And that's today, 1 to 2. Well, and go back to that slide for a second before I go on. I want to ask you guys, if I talk about an 8x8, what do you think I'm talking about? Somebody tell me what an 8x8 is. Helen, star student.
It's a way you contact your people once a week.
Touches Nikki's.
And it's in E-Edge, and it's very good for if you're going out for sale by owner or even expired.
So an example of a use for that might be a for sale by owner and expired. And I don't think most of us spend a lot of time on for sale by owners and expireds, but certainly you see a for sale by owner sign and you go to call them or talk to them. Give me another example, somebody that has used it or would use it, or that even knows what I mean by that. So really we kind of don't even necessarily know what some of this stuff means maybe that I
You
find.
get leads from open houses and stuff like that.
An open house is a great example. What about whenever you're networking, Brian? Brian's still here.
Mine's still there.
Yeah, why you should come meet? Well, the idea is when you go into the room, your business card, God, I'm probably going to get crucified for this, but you're taking business cards so that you can follow up with them and create the relationship, doing the electronic stuff, cards, and also a personal visit, cup of coffee, and that way they remember you. But it's the follow-up is the most important thing. not the initial glam glitz of beating them. Does that make sense? Did I answer that right?
Well, it does. And so when we've been talking a couple of team meetings about the forward conversations, the family, occupation, recreation, dreams, right? And those are the non-salesy conversations that you're having with really anyone that you're meeting. Now, if you're at a for sale by owner or expired, you're a little bit salesy because you're talking to them about their house, maybe. Your open house, you're talking to them about the house, but you're also going to see if you can get information about who they are and what they're looking for. You're at a networking event, and instead of saying, "Hi, I'm a realtor," you're asking them questions, that you're listening for clues, your own sphere of influence. I saw one recently where an agent had just taken their sphere of influence, their core people, and put them on a new 8x8. Maybe I haven't talked to you and I sold a house to you 2 years ago, and I've decided to really get purposeful about getting some business right now. And so let's give an example of an 8x8. Say I meet you and I'm going to add you to my database, right? And we talked for a few minutes and you told me what was going on. So one thing I could do is send you a personal note, or an email, or a phone call, or a text message, or a Facebook connection, right? So lots of lists of ways you could contact them. And what I do is I set you on a reminder to contact you for 8 weeks in a row. Doesn't mean I call you 8 times. Really, the preferred way is for that 7th week to be a phone call and an invite to meet in person, lunch or coffee or something. By the time you contacted someone 8 times, first of all, you're getting a personal connection with them, and then also you're following up in a different way than other people are, with all of those other open house agents they met, or all the other 30 people they met that day at the networking event. It's just saying, hey, I really want to get to know you and be in business with you, be your realtor when you're thinking of one. So I wanted to just let you know, do you guys realize that that's in your eEdge content? Now in the eEdge, there's some just pre-made emails that you can customize or use. And so it's very easy to say, I'm going to have my 8x8 be a personal note, and then I'm going to send them this email. And then I'm going to give them an item of value. Maybe it's some kind of local real estate content, or they ask about the market or a neighborhood. So think about in your eEdge class today, maybe how would I just set up a basic I've met someone campaign. It's just my tip for your week for today. Okay. Splash into summer with a new home. Kendall Homes contacted me yesterday and wanted us to know about Wednesday, June 27th from 4 to 6. They're going to be having lots of sponsors, open house, kind of you know where Canyon Creek is? Just right there off of Longmire. And there I'm not sure if he dropped by flyers or not, but I just told him I would let you guys know that might be something. Those house homes are, I think, in the 200-ish price range in there. It's a cute little neighborhood, real close to the office. Agent Independence Day Happy Hour, 4 to 6, June 28th, Century Homes Model Home in Stewart's Forest. So the Culture Committee, Matt, you want to tell us?
Well, I mean, that's basically all the information. It's an event that they're holding exclusively for us.
For us, with sponsors,
Yeah.
here at Stewart's Forest. So we'll be, you know how you guys like to go to the model homes during team meetings that I've been doing? And here's the social event where we just go and have a drink and talk and have fun and see some inventory. And that is in celebration of the holiday, 4 to 6, and that is Thursday. Okay? Another event going on Thursday, so oh my gosh, what a conflict. There's a luxury broker open house, multiple open house going on in Bentwater. So Bruce Seller's team, as well as some other agents, are doing some luxury homes. So Bruce came and told me yesterday, that is from 5 to 7. Here's the properties, right? The flyers are around, and we'll email it after team meetings so you guys have it. And the homes are $2 million, $2.7 million, $1.7 million. So these are luxury that we don't get a chance to see that often because why? They're accompanied, and unless you have a buyer, it feels awkward. So he said, you know, this is usually invitation to the luxury agents, which are the community certified luxury agents. And he said, open to all of you. Please come by. Please come see these homes. Maybe it'll spark some activity for you, and just know your area of Bentwater. They're gonna be also talking about things to do with Bentwater, the association and all that. Okay, Celebration of Independence Day, office will be closed, and that is obviously next Wednesday, the 4th. Team meeting, I'm just gonna tell you a couple of things for your calendars. July 10th, I'm gonna have a speaker at the team meeting, keynote speaker and habits for performance coach. From what I understand, he's been in the Market Center before and you guys loved him. And so he's gonna come in and he'll be our speaker on July 10th, so be sure to come to that one on the calendar. All right, who in the room's been bold? Did you guys see any production happen from bold? Say yes.
Yes.
But do you mean it? Do you really mean it?
Absolutely.
So I just found out yesterday the dates of Bold. We have the Bold coach is David Jones.
He's the best.
He
Ever.
is the best. And I've had him personally, and he is actually the most sought after Bold coach, the most requested Bold coach. So we requested him long in advance, and he accepted and has been named as a coach and flies in for it. And the first step, which is free, we're having it in the Woodlands with the Woodlands, and it'll be at the Woodlands office. So we'll go down there every Monday, and it's 7 steps. So there's.
Anyway, I was gonna say, I know the first step is
Okay, we think that it's going to be there. We just got the information yesterday. So the first step is Monday, August 6th on your calendar at 8:30 to 3:30. I know it's a long time. They guarantee that when you go there, you're going to come out with something from going. It's free and you go, and they'll talk about why to attend Bold and also give you some useful stuff there at that day. And I think that that's, even if you just do that, that's wonderful. And then go back a second. So here's how it works. I just kind of want to explain it to you. So you go on Monday, it costs $800. You pay the $800. You have a different emotional investment, and you show up to these classes and you don't miss them and say, oh yeah, I had something happen. You actually go, but you pay. And then the Market Center reimburses you for the next 4 transactions. So get yourself paid back, and you up your production by immense amounts. And it'll be every Monday except for Mega Camp will be in between. So you'll go to Bold on Monday. Now you can go to the next one. Then Mega Camp is following week. And so we all go over to Mega Camp. What I told some of the agents that have already said they're going to Mega Camp is we're going to take some stuff from Mega Camp, come back, and let's implement it during Bold as part of our lead gen activities. And then we'll be in the next steps of Bold, and you'll be done to 6 weeks, obviously, after this. You'll be done at the end of September. And then what do you think that will happen to your 4th quarter?
Rock stars.
Right? And that's the thing, it's a great time of year to do it. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm too busy. Spark your business. This is one just for your calendar. We're bringing in a legal update class. Sometimes we have to schedule those way in advance. So that is way in advance schedule of October 24th. I know that's way far away, it seems like, but if you guys just want to jot it down on your calendar and do your legal update at that time, it's going to be $25 to the instructor.
Legal 1 or
That one says legal 1. I want to say, I just saw this flyer, but I want to say that I read it as legal 1, but we'll double check that. Just jot it on your calendar and know about it. We'll get you more information. That's the slide that I made for me.
Okay, so I get to talk about stuff. In my call this week, there's a bunch of stuff that is coming through labs. I was showing this to Anna yesterday, and it's kind of quirky. There's a feature in Kelly where you can ask it to snap the area that you're in. You can say snap my location, and it'll tell you the average sales price, the number of listings in the area, and like the number of sold houses, and anyway. Or you can tell it a specific neighborhood, and anyway, it's getting better.
So the thing that I thought about this, Kelly Snap it's called, do you guys have Kelly downloaded?
Yes.
Anyone in the room not know what Kelly is? So Kelly is just getting smarter all the time, and the labs are coming out with more things because the idea is that we're going to be the best technology there is. And then what's the value to you as the agent in the field? So right now with your KW mobile app, I think how easy is that to share? You can be at an open house and instead of saying, can I get your number, you can say, can I share my app, right? You can draw on the map and show them homes. Well, now with this kind of a technology, what Earl did was he just talked to the phone and said what?
That's a Kelly Snap.
Kelly Snap.
Kelly Snap 77304, and it's a Kelly Snap Shopper 77304. There are 513 active listings. The average list price is, that seems like a lot.
407,000.
I guess for the whole
Maybe.
thing because of the
Okay.
stuff. And then average days on market is 112. And then the other one that it gave me was my actual neighborhood.
So he just tried out a couple, and I would love if you guys try to do a couple as well. And as it gets better and we learn to use it, you can just sit there right somewhere and ask your artificial intelligence, obviously. To pull it.
And it works. I mean, the only problem, I think it, I was, when you start asking it multiple things, it kind of gets stuck with its last results and thinks you give you the results that you're looking for. Anyway, so, but it is pretty cool, and I thought it was pretty neat. The next thing that I have is, this is a notification. Ruth actually got an email, I guess, and I got an email with an actual, like, here's what the email is going to look like. Keller Williams has an integration with Nextdoor, and basically it's going to be a place where you can set up your professional presence as a realtor in Nextdoor. If you have listings, they'll be put in as you've seen it. Everybody who has Nextdoor, it'll show local listings in your area. But anyway, it'll brand you as a Keller Williams agent. They've only released it, we think, maybe in the Austin area right now. Anyway, and they're going to slowly integrate it. So watch for an email that says, hey, here's your Nextdoor integration. It'll come from Keller Williams International. Let's see. And then the third thing, this is something that we've talked about for years. When you're making marketing material in eEdge, like if you go into my marketing and you want to create a flyer or something, and it doesn't exactly have what you want in it, the only way to do that is basically you just have to go in and just cut everything out of it that you could and copy and paste. Well, they're coming out with a new thing called Sketchbook, and it's going to be a command. And basically, it'll be a blank screen. If you want to, you can lay it out however you want and start from a blank slate. I mean, it'll still have templates, but you'll have the option to just create your own stuff on the fly. It's really cool. Judy and I had to do like a couple of weeks. They're kind of deal with it. But anyway, that's what I got.
So basically, we're watching as much as we can what the labs are doing, and just want to keep you guys informed. I got a report yesterday on Kelly and how many referrals we've had going in and out, and how many agents are using it, so we can see that from the back office. And what I want you guys' activity to do is make sure you have it downloaded. Make sure you have your bio in, because agents can search for you. They can search for you by neighborhood. They can see your sales depending on if you've turned that on. So I'm teaching you that in labs when you come, and we're talking about how your bios work. And so I have an agent who got 3 referrals last month from Kelly, from that referral network. So if you haven't gone in and just connected with another agent, feel free to connect with me, someone else in the office, an agent, anywhere in the country, and please accept the referral requests or the network requests that you're getting, because those agents sometimes are looking for an agent to refer to. Okay, so make sure you're doing that. And can I put back on my speaker yet? Oh, Bill, this is the slide that I thought I had earlier, where I was just showing you a screenshot of what your 8x8 marketing looks like, that you guys can go into eEdge, just do your marketing, look at your 8x8s, take a look at it and see if it's something you would want to use. I just sometimes think you guys don't realize that it's there. Yay, guest speaker, okay. Joey, are you over there somewhere?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
Probably
coming.
exhausted waiting. Come talk to us.
Welcome back.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good.
Been a while, huh? It's been a couple of years. Good morning.
Good morning.
Who does not have one of these flyers? Raise your hand so I can get you one. I have a couple of extras over here. You'll pass those around for me if you don't have them.
My name is Joey Wyatt, and I am a certified vascular sonographer with Texas Mobile Imaging, and for the last 21 years of my life, I have had the unique opportunity of traveling all over our wonderful state, teaching people just like you how to recognize and prevent strokes and other deadly cardiovascular diseases. It's been a couple of years since I've been to this office. I've worked with a lot of Keller Williams locations all over Texas, and I have to say, I've never seen one that said a prayer like that in the beginning, so that was pretty awesome, you guys. That was very nice. The information I have for you today is very important. It could very well save a life, and that life just may be yours, so please pay close attention. Everyone should have one of our pamphlets. If you'll take the appointment request form out of the inside of there, set it aside for now, kind of just follow along with me. If you look on the outside cover here, you'll see that on Thursday, July the 5th, we're going to be bringing our mobile stroke and vascular and organ disease screening team right here inside this room. We're going to be using our painless ultrasound screenings, just like we're able to see the baby inside the mom. We're going to be scanning your arteries for the early detection of 3 different deadly cardiovascular diseases. We're also going to be scanning your internal organs. The first thing I want to talk to you about today is stroke. So if you'll open up the pamphlet, kind of just follow along with me as I'm talking to you today. The first thing I want to talk about is stroke. Stroke is a huge problem. In our country, 795,000 people have a stroke every year. That's 1 every 40 seconds. The average age of a stroke victim in our country is around 44 years old. It's the 4th leading cause of death behind heart disease, cancer, and pulmonary disease, the 2nd leading cause of death of women, even more than breast cancer. And stroke is the #1 reason for adult disability and nursing home admissions in our country every year. You know, you hear about the swine flu, the bird flu, Zika virus, a few people die from this, and all of a sudden we have an epidemic on our hands. Well, enough people die from a stroke in this country every year to fill up Texans football stadium twice. Roughly 160,000 people die from a stroke in this country every year. I'm going to show you right now why these statistics are so staggering. How many of you, by a show of hands, can tell me exactly what a stroke is? How many of you, by a show of hands, can name just 3 warning signs or symptoms of having a stroke? This is exactly why I'm here, everybody. After the age of 40, the 3 things that you really have to worry about the most are stroke, heart attack, and cancer. All right? It's going to touch every single person in this room in some shape, form, or fashion, whether if it happens to you, a family member, friend, or loved one. I'm 48, and my best friend since the age of 15 had a massive hemorrhagic stroke on New Year's Day at age 47. He now cannot move the left side of his body or speak. And he has 2 small children, and he was the breadwinner of that family. So stroke does not care how much money you have, what kind of car you drive, how busy you are, how much you still have to do in this life, how famous you are. It can happen to anybody at any time. The good news is that most strokes are preventable. I do want to tell you about both kinds of strokes today. The first type I want to talk about is hemorrhagic stroke. This is the type of stroke that my friend just had, and he lived through it. This is the type of stroke that usually kills people right away. This occurs when you have a blood vessel inside the brain that ruptures and you bleed into the brain. This is what accounts for those 160,000 deaths each year from stroke. Only about 20% of all strokes are hemorrhagic, and if stroke killed every single time, it wouldn't be such a horrible disease. And the reason I say that is because the only thing worse than dying from a stroke is being paralyzed from the neck down in a nursing home for the rest of your life, being a prisoner inside your own body. Even though my friend can't speak or move the left side of his body, he still remembers all the crazy things we used to do when we were 15 years old. That's what stroke does to you. It robs you of your personality and your dignity and your ability to function. Now, unfortunately, we can't help predict and prevent hemorrhagic stroke, but the majority of all strokes are called ischemic strokes. Has anybody ever heard of the TIA? Transient ischemic attack. Basically, stroke is a disruption of blood flow to the brain, whether it's from a hemorrhage or from an ischemic situation. Ischemia means lack of oxygen. When we're born, your arteries are nice and clean and clear like this. We get a little older and start eating those Happy Meals and the Whataburger and the breakfast tacos, and we start smoking and we start dipping, and we get diabetes, and we have the stress. We have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, family history. These are all things that contribute to the blocking of your arteries. There's really no difference in the plumbing in your house and the plumbing inside your body. We die from bad plumbing in this country. Simple as that. How many of us like to cook, barbecue? What's the one thing we never pour down the kitchen sink? Well, we eat it just about every day, right? This is what clogs our arteries, all right? So what can happen is, if you will look at that pamphlet that I gave you there up at the top, you're going to see an exploded view of the carotid arteries. These are the arteries in both sides of your neck that feed the brain with oxygenated blood. And I have another model here. This is not life-size, of course, but it kind of gives you an idea of how the common carotid artery sits in the neck. About mid-neck, the artery splits off or bifurcates. Anytime you have a bifurcation in an artery is where you tend to get this collection of fatty plaque or cholesterol buildup material that can shut off the supply of oxygen to the brain, causing a thrombotic stroke. If a piece of the blood clot or plaque buildup breaks off, where's it going to go?
Brain.
Into the brain. It's going to lodge itself, and anything past that blockage cannot get oxygen, so now you have an embolic stroke. Thrombotic and embolic strokes make up about 80% of all strokes. These are the types of strokes that are easily identifiable and preventable. So how do we help you do that? Well, the first step is educating you like we're doing right now. The second step is by taking advantage of the color flow Doppler ultrasound that we're going to be bringing right here to this room on Thursday, July the 5th. In minutes, using a painless color flow Doppler ultrasound, we can see inside the carotid arteries. We can see if you have any plaque attached to the walls of those arteries. And when we turn on the color flow Doppler, we can actually see the blood flow through your arteries in real time without using any needles, dyes, piercing your skin, or anything like that. So we can detect this blockage, let you know if it's there, so that your doctor can repair or remove that blockage before you have a stroke. In the last 2 weeks, we have found 3 people who have had 90+% blockages in their carotid arteries with absolutely no symptoms at all. So we can identify this so that your doctor can repair or remove that blockage before a stroke occurs. Any questions on the different types of stroke or how that scan works to identify it? I'm going to teach you the warning signs and symptoms here in just a little bit. It's kind of a lot of information, and I'll show you an easy way to remember that. Flip this over on the back for me if you would. Look at the upper left-hand corner up there. While we're scanning your carotid arteries, we're also going to scan your thyroid gland, which sits in the base of your neck. This gland controls your metabolism and hormones. We find a lot of thyroid disease, especially in women. If you're feeling hot or cold all the time, anxious or nervous, can't lose weight or gain weight, memory loss, rough or dry skin, hair loss, these are all things that are contributed to thyroid problems a lot of the times. While scanning your carotid arteries, we can see if your thyroid is shriveling up or if it's enlarged or if you have any cysts, nodules, or masses on the thyroid that could be cancer that you can have right now and never know it. So we can identify other things while we're scanning your carotid arteries, okay? Any questions about that? Good. Flip this over on the inside one more time. Let's look in the middle of the page. The second vascular disease I want to teach you about today is abdominal aorta aneurysm. Your aorta is the main artery that comes off your heart. It goes all the way down to your belly button and splits off to the legs. It's the biggest artery in your body, about as big around as your index finger. And over time, the same things that cause plaque buildup in the arteries can actually weaken the walls of the aorta. Your aorta, just like a car tire, has 32 psi. Your aorta has 15 to 20 psi, so it's an extremely high pressure artery. Over time, as the walls of the aorta start to thin out or weaken, a bulge or an aneurysm can form, and that's what you're looking at on that picture there. To the left is a normal, symmetrical, healthy aorta, and to the right is what an abdominal aorta aneurysm looks like. Your aorta is about as big around as your index finger. Already this year, we've seen aneurysms the size of golf balls, baseballs, even grapefruits, with no symptoms at all. If this pops or ruptures, you bleed out internally in less than 1 minute. Lucille Ball, Conway Twitty, Albert Einstein, John Ritter, George C. Scott, Tommy from the show Martin, Bill Paxton from the movie Twister. These are all famous people that died from a ruptured aorta. You're going to have a unique opportunity to come and get your aorta scanned with a painless ultrasound. We can let you know if you have an aneurysm there, so that just like the carotid arteries, your doctor can repair or remove that aneurysm before rupture and sudden death occurs. Success story within the Keller Williams family. I live in Katy. I was doing a program out there for Keller Williams Premier, and the broker's husband, Phil Huffman, has anybody ever heard of him? Yep. I actually found an aneurysm on Phil Huffman's aorta. He did not know he had it. He went to a cardiologist. They ended up having to do open heart surgery because he had blocked arteries in his heart that he didn't know about. And as a direct result of all of this, they found that. So he had no symptoms. So you can never tell what's going on there. We can definitely find these things and help you if you have them, okay? Any questions on that? Flip this over on the back for me one more time, if you will. Up at the top of the page there, you're going to see the gallbladder. While we're scanning your aorta, if you still have a gallbladder, we're going to scan your gallbladder for any sludge or stones that you may have and never know about it. Then we're going to move over and scan your liver for fatty liver or cysts or tumors on the liver that could be cancer. Not only am I the spokesperson, but I'm also a testimonial. Every year for the last 21 years, my technicians have scanned me. Just in the last 2 years, it's been found that I have fatty liver. This is something that usually happens to people that drink alcohol. I don't drink alcohol, I never have. But I used to weigh almost 300 pounds, and I'm diabetic, and I used to have a high-fat diet. And so I have fatty deposits on my liver now. Untreated, fatty liver can progress to cirrhosis of the liver even if you've never drank alcohol before. And guess what? I have no symptoms. I have no idea I had that going on. Since then, I've lost about 45 pounds. I've kept it off. My diabetes is back under control now, and it's actually starting to get better. So I'm a walking testimony that you can have something going on and never know it. Then we're going to move down and scan both of your kidneys for any kidney stones, cysts, or tumors there that could be cancer. I also have a 3-centimeter cyst on my kidney that I never knew I had that I'm now watching every year. So again, you can have these things going on and never know it. We can identify it for you. Any questions on the abdominal organ stuff? All right. Move back onto the inside here, if you would, one more time for me. Let's look down towards the bottom of the page. The last vascular disease I want to teach you about today is PAD. Peripheral artery disease is the same fatty plaque or cholesterol buildup material that causes heart attack and stroke, except it happens in the arteries of your legs. This is the #1 reason we amputate legs in our country every year. Texas holds the record for the most leg amputations than any other state in our nation as a result of PAD. If we find that you have a blocked artery in your leg, this means that you're at a much greater risk for having a heart attack or stroke sometime within the next 10 years. Some of the symptoms with PAD is hot or cold legs, tingling or burning in your legs, numbness or loss of sensation in your legs, hair loss from toes or feet, shiny or glassy appearance on the skin of your legs, pain during exercise, which is relieved with rest. You like to get out and walk the neighborhood, you get a certain distance, your calves, your hamstrings, your thighs, or even your butt muscles will start to feel real heavy or tired and they cramp up on you, so you sit down and relax and they start to feel better. This could be a warning sign that you have PAD. And with a handheld Doppler in minutes, we're going to be able to determine whether or not you have PAD, so that just like the carotids and the aorta, your doctor can repair or remove that blockage before an amputation occurs. Now the reason we bring the scans to you in a mobile environment is this. Your doctor does not order these types of ultrasounds when you go get a physical done, because if you don't have any of the symptoms, your insurance or Medicare will not pay for these tests. Why? Because they're just too expensive. Just the carotid artery exam in a hospital runs anywhere from $500 to $1,500. The abdominal aorta and the arteries in the legs are $500 to $1,000 each. The internal organs are as high as $750 each. This is why insurance won't pay for it during a routine physical, because if you're not symptomatic, this won't cover it. This is ridiculous because remember, you can have a 95% blockage here with no symptoms, huge aneurysm on your aorta with no symptoms. So the insurance companies don't want to take care of us until we're already sick, which is all too often too late. This is where we come into play. We bridge that gap. We give you the same access to the machines and the technologists that the hospitals use, a board-certified radiologist on staff that interprets all of our work. $50 for the neck, $50 for the abdomen, $50 for the legs, and if you look down at the bottom there in the yellow bubble, you get the complete vascular and organ screening package for $125. If we find something wrong with you and it's critical, we're going to pull you aside, step out and call the radiologist. He's going to let us know whether or not to give you that paperwork right away. If it's critical, you're going to get it right away, along with the images. You take it right to your doctor. Once your doctor sees that we found a problem, even though you don't have any of the symptoms yet, this is the catalyst that gives your doctor enough evidence to order a full diagnostic workup on you. Then if you need to have life-saving corrective surgery, your insurance will kick in and pay for all of that, even though you don't have any of the symptoms yet. So this is our way of giving you access to these scans that you would not normally have because of the high costs that are involved and the refusal of insurance companies to take care of us until we're already sick, which is all too often too late. 3 years ago, I lost my 42-year-old sister to stage 4 lung cancer. She found out when she was 38 as a result of a CT scan on her kidney for stones. They found a tumor in her lung. Turned out to be stage 4 lung cancer. She never smoked a cigarette a day in her life. 4 years later, at age 42, she passed. After that happened, I told my doctor, I said, look, I always get my organs scanned. I know I'm in fairly decent shape, but I want to get a colonoscopy done. She said, well, you're only 45 and your insurance won't pay for it till you're 50. I paid $1,500 out of pocket for that colonoscopy. They found 5 polyps, 2 of them had cancer. I had no symptoms. Flash forward 2 years later, which was last August, I had another colonoscopy because now I have to do it every 2 years the rest of my life. 5 more polyps, 1 had cancer. Again, no symptoms. Now, we don't do colonoscopies, but the moral of this story is if you ever have a chance to get screenings done, get it done because you can feel great and never know what's going on inside your body. And this is a unique opportunity that we're going to be bringing right here to the office for you and your family members and your friends and loved ones to come and get this stuff done. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes to do everything. It's all painless and non-invasive. If we find something critical, you get the report right away. If not, it comes in your mailbox privately and confidentially within 3 to 4 weeks. We do not share your results with anybody but you. So if you don't have medical coverage, you don't have to worry about anything that we find becoming a pre-existing condition because we only report it to you and nobody else. All right? Any questions?
I noticed on the front down here, it says, in Texas, prescriptions is necessary for the exam.
Correct.
What does that mean?
So, because we are using prescription-only equipment to do these scans, Texas requires us to obtain a prescription for you. When you fill out that slip and turn it in to me, you're going to get a call from our office. We're going to ask you a series of risk assessment questions, and that will determine whether or not you're eligible to get a prescription by our radiologist to get the scans done. Every person in this room is probably eligible because you're going to answer yes to at least one of the health risk assessment questions that we're going to ask you. It's just legal mumbo jumbo that we have to put on there.
Straight to one of the questions?
So,
Just checking.
So let me ask y'all something. Are we scared yet? Look, it's what we don't know that hurts us, right? And knowledge is power. And we have the ability today to identify these things before they become a big problem. And men, we are the most hard-headed when it comes to healthcare. We change the oil in our vehicles every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, though, don't we? We take better care of our cars than we do our bodies. And this is preventative maintenance. It's simple. It's painless. It's quick. It's easy. And it saves lives. I told you earlier I was going to show you how to remember the stroke symptoms. So let me ask y'all this. First, if you're alone and you think you might be having a heart attack, there's 3 things that you can do that just might save your life. And you only have about 10 seconds to do it before you lose consciousness. What's the first thing you should do? Remember, you're alone. Exactly. Aspirin's the #1 answer I get, but call 911 because if you take aspirin and hit the floor, nobody's going to come get you, right? So now they even have apps that you can push and it'll call 911 for you. Then you can chew an aspirin or 2. This can get into the bloodstream a lot quicker than swallowing it. So it might be a good idea to start carrying a couple of aspirin around in your front pocket because you never can tell when you or someone else might need it. But you have to be careful because if you or someone close to you is having a hemorrhagic stroke and you administer aspirin, what's going to happen? You're going to bleed out. So how do we remember the difference between heart attack and stroke symptoms? Just like this, everybody. Stroke symptoms are neurological deficits, vision, speech, memory, dizziness, and paralysis, especially on one side of the body. Heart attacks are totally different. Pain that radiates down the left arm, crushing feeling in the chest, cold sweating, nausea, vomiting, constant heartburn. Men feel like we've been kicked by a mule here or here. Women feel it in the jawline, almost like a severe toothache. But all too often, the first symptom of a heart attack is sudden death. The third thing you can do if you're alone and you think you might be having a heart attack is cough as hard as you possibly can. This might get the heart back into a normal rhythm. Did you guys learn something about stroke and vascular disease in here today? Yeah. Awesome. Inside your pamphlet is an appointment request form. If you want to sign up for the scans, you do not pay anything today. All I need from you on this piece of paper is your name, your phone number, circle your appointment time preference. We're probably going to be here from 9 in the morning until 2 or 3 in the afternoon. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour to do everything. It's all painless and non-invasive. There's no disrobing involved. I know that disappoints some. We'll have privacy screens and massage tables and a team of 4 or 5 technicians, female and male technicians. Circle your appointment time preference there, and then circle your cell phone carrier so that when you do make your appointment, we can send you text reminders on your phone, because realtors and teachers are the hardest people in the world to get on the telephone. But we will leave you a voicemail if you don't pick up. Just make sure that you call us back. We answer our phones until late into the evening hours, okay? Any questions? Did you have something?
No, well, I was gonna, you just now said it about being painless. I was gonna tell all the hard-headed men, there's no pain involved. I had it done last time. It's piece cake. You need to do it. Everybody needs it.
It's some of the easiest tests that you'll ever have done.
I want to say something too. I don't know, most of y'all don't know me yet, but not knowing is like important. In August or April, I had 100% blockage in my heart. Never had any symptoms. Died on the table 3 times. Not knowing is something that goes on a lot of people don't know about. So I suggest
How old are
you
you,
do
sir?
this. I'm 38.
Wow.
Yeah, never had an idea it was coming. So what he's saying about the not knowing, sometimes that's important, you know.
Well, I want to thank each and every one of you, Anna, for the time allowing me to come up here and educate you today and give you opportunities like this to take advantage of it. You know, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink, right? Come get this done, guys, and if you need extra slips or pamphlets, I do have some extra stuff. I'm going to be standing out in the hallway to collect these from you on your way out. Please feel free to stop by and say hello and share any stories or ask any questions that you might have. God bless you, and thank you so much for your time today.
Guys, I know that's not a lot of real estate related, but I knew that we had heard that you found a lot of value in it last time, so thank you to him for coming. Donna forgot to give her door prize.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make this quick and simple. In your brochure, turn it open to the first page. If you have a blue star on a little band.
Oh, I don't.
We didn't get it.
You have it? We can get it.
Well, it doesn't matter.
You got a door prize.
Marin.
Woohoo! There you go.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna end you with a video. I know we're about out of time, and I know how you love your videos. 2 minutes.
Invent yourself, and then reinvent yourself. Don't swim in the same slough. Invent yourself, and then reinvent yourself. And stay out of the clutches of mediocrity. Invent yourself, and then reinvent yourself. Change your tone and shape so often that they can never categorize you.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
Reinvigorate yourself and accept what is. But only on the terms that you have invented and reinvented. Be self-taught and reinvent your life because you must. It is your life, and its history and the present belong only to you.
gave you guys a closing thing here to close the meeting with today. And you'll see it hanging up on the Market Center. It's on the wall in my office. And it's just a beautiful thing about mastery. And I just believe as we go on the path of mastery, I played a video a couple of meetings ago about how much clutter and mediocrity we've kind of become accustomed to in our society. So I just want you guys to read with me this second paragraph on this page. And then I'm going to ask you to turn to someone next to you and tell them something about this passage, okay? So just read with me. It's remarkable how much mediocrity we live with, surrounding ourselves with daily reminders that the average is acceptable. Our world suffers from terminal normality. Take a moment to assess all the things around you that promote your being average. These are the things that keep you powerless to go beyond the limit your arbitrary set for yourself. The first step to mastery is the removal of everything in your environment that represents mediocrity. Removing those things that are limiting. One way is to surround yourself with friends who ask for more of you than you do. Then some of your best teachers, coaches, parents, etc. So in closing of the meeting, I want you guys to stand up and just tell the person next to you something in your life that represents mediocrity that you're going to pinky swear to remove. Talk about it for a second. And I know it's not a question,
I don't think it's there. Now,
I'm Chad. Nice to meet you.
Probably sounded really good. Sit there and eat.